It's us. We're live. We're here, everybody. I do want to say down below, quick attention as we have people come in for the replay or are here live. And I will remind throughout the show and at the end. First off, did you remember the thumbs up? Thank you. Secondly, next week, the show is going to be adjusted because of me. My bad, not Nick. I will be teaching at a barber expo in Anaheim, California. And I will be flying back Tuesday during this normal show time. And so we have slightly shifted. So it'll be on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. So mark that down. After this show ends, I'll launch the next one, and it will have it on the thumbnail. It will have it on the description, the time, and everything. So we should be good to go there. But just as a heads up, set your reminders. Alicia, don't forget, nice new picture, by the way. But don't forget, next week, be there. Shout out to everybody in the building right now. We've got Ellie, Stanley, Leo, Lord, DeJesus, Dennis, Jill. Hello, Jill. Daryl, Kenny, Eric, Dylan, Dynamite. What's up, everybody? Beards and Vinyl, Mark. What's up, what's up, what's up? Craig, True North, Chris. Got the whole squad in here already.
Man.
I forgot to mention two other people. Channing and Papa. What up, Channing and Papa? What's up, Nate? Welcome in, guys. Ave in the house. No, silly. The other two people. My name's Dan. I have a beard addiction. This is Nick. He is addicted to so many things in a positive, artistic, entrepreneurial way. Ooh. I had a good rant last night, Nick. You would have enjoyed it. Essentially about beard product companies, specifically one owner blaming consumers and blaming content creators for people not buying their stuff. And yeah, you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, we've heard this before.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that circle a few times.
This is classic I'm spiraling and know the reason why, and it's myself but don't want to admit it behavior that we're witnessing here.
Yep.
But
and that has to be like tribal, like back when we started programming our wiring as humans. Like there has to be something there because it's always when it's the most obvious, when it's you, right? When it's like staring you in the face and you see people like that, that's the time when it lashes out to, it's like one last chance. Like, no, I'm doing bad because you're not buying. I'm doing bad because he didn't sell it. Like, it's like a last ditch effort, right?
It is. And it's like it's one of those little parts of human nature too, that like, if we were a social experiment, that would be a bug that they're still trying to work out. You know what I mean? Like that'd be like, God, they're still doing it. Nope.
What is that little code in there? Yeah. What's
version 2100? Here we go.
Well, I'm ready for us to get beyond that. So
yeah, that'd be nice. You know, that's going to be one of the many forms of heightened enlightenment, right?
Yeah. Yep. Right.
When we emerge from whatever rubble we're in right now.
Do you think that they do not want to be accountable for their own screw ups? Yeah, I don't know if screw ups is the word, but like just be accountable. Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things to do, especially like, so Nick and I are very introspective people. Nick sometimes too introspective and too hard, like to his own detriment, where he'll take things on that aren't even his fault and feel the burden of it. And when so many other people run the other way from that. So it's really hard for me to really like grasp that concept.
Oh yeah, I pull myself straight onto the dagger.
Yeah, he does. He's accountability, 100%. And that's
not to say that you don't need a good accountability buddy around you, just to make sure that, you know, to give you the chest bump when they need to.
Right.
You know, and that's fine. We do that, and it's good, and it's healthy.
Yep. I'm pretty good at that. When it's I'm not good at faking it though. I'm sorry out there. I do have some people that almost like
1 out of 5 stars. Yeah. On your ability to do that.
Yeah. To do that. And it gives me the ick.
No. If that's what you're looking for, you'd get bad reviews for that quality, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Like if there was a Yelp, you know, for Dan as a person, It'd be like, things were good. However, when I needed him to fake it and tell me things were great when they weren't, he was terrible at it. 1 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend.
So true.
Yeah.
And Leo, it probably goes hand in hand. He said, I didn't find the rant source, but I'm suspecting a company whose misreading of my comment led to an interesting, polite exchange. Oftentimes when people are in that deflection mindset, everything is a nail to a hammer. And so they start to read the tone in these like attacking or defensive ways. I always tell people, like, oftentimes when people have a problem with me on the internet, I tell them, I'm like, I hate to tell you, but it's not actually me you have a problem with. And credit to people, even some people in here, but actually specifically have come back to be like, Dan, you were right. I was in a terrible mindset. I had this going on, this going on, this going on. I read way more into that than was ever intended. My bad. And I respect that, but he was right.
I've been there.
Yep.
How come when I read this comment from Leo, whenever I picture Leo getting into like an exchange with somebody, I picture it being like one of those gloves. Like if it was in person, it'd be like a whoosh, 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 like glove smacking situation. Like it's the politest possible way to have an altercation with somebody.
For sure. I challenge you to a duel.
That's
of
right.
Words and gloves.
That's right. I challenge you to a logic off on this topic.
Yes.
And I promise you, sir, you will not prevail.
Yep. Sir, exactly. Sir, I challenge you to a duel.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
Jill says she thinks she's good at faking like interactions, but her face doesn't lie.
No, yeah. Jill has a certain type of resting face sometimes that has been branded by others out there, in certain ways.
Yeah.
So
the difference with Sam is you use the word sometimes. And that's not me taking a shot. That's her right now. She'll be
if Sam was right there, she'd be like, she only has that problem sometimes.
Right. No, and 100%. We've tried to work on it, and I don't know if we call it like only child face or something. We've had a couple different names for it.
Yeah. It's like I grew up half and half only child, half not only child, because my brothers all moved out when they were older. And, so I was like, little kid had siblings. Then right when it mattered, when you needed to get beat up for making bad decisions, I didn't have an older brother. So it's like I kind of had both.
And that can cause challenges.
Yeah. It's been shown to.
Yeah.
It does have its long and short and long-term effects.
Yeah. And this is not an exaggeration. Some of my best lessons I've ever learned in my life came with physical consequences. And I'm not kidding. Like, I genuinely learned.
That's a really good point. There's certain things that are staple gunned into my mind, and those were put there by other physical things. Maybe not a staple gun, maybe other things.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I got a quiz for you. Our buddy G Squared, he's got cold brew and beard today. He said, what day is it? I've still not recovered from my excitement from Sunday. Now, I will say there's no context here needed. There's nothing he's exchanged with me or talked about on a live stream, but I do know what he's talking about. Do you have any indication?
I mean, he's got to be talking about the Patriots. I'd be hoping.
You are freakishly close, but freakishly far away.
Oh boy.
With that little clue,
close, but
I cannot believe you got that close. But you could not be more wrong in his mind.
And being as it was, so I don't know. I have no idea.
So the Patriots, you're saying, because they're going back to the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
Unexpected. Drake May, this quarterback wasn't supposed to.
Out of nowhere.
Right. Out of nowhere. The whole entire idea of how close you are, he lives on the opposite coast, and his team.
Oh, right. He's
in
the
Super Bowl.
That's right. He's in Washington. Right.
So he hates the Patriots coming up, and
especially right now. Yeah. I forgot you're in Washington. You're where I was born, and I don't know how I mixed that up. I thought you were on a different coast.
It's a rematch of a heated rivalry too. So they hate each other.
Yeah. And so obviously, without seeing all of the replays of the heated rivalry, I didn't know much about it beforehand. But not being living in a hole, I've seen all about the rivalry that exists and how it came to be the last time, and how it's basically like a replay of that same situation this time. Like everyone really, really wants blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, go Sporty Ball. Well, Alicia, aren't you proud of Nick? That was a full-fledged sports discussion, and
Dude,
he held his own.
You know what? I knew who Drake May was.
Crazy.
I knew the Patriots were going to the Super Bowl.
Timely.
I watched the game.
What?
I mean, I did.
For real?
Jack, I did. Yeah,
I did not.
All three of us watched it. Jack wanted to watch. He was. I blame partially Jack's aunt and uncle, his great aunt and uncle, because he spent the night over there on Saturday and he came home Sunday wanting to watch football. So I was like, I know where this is coming from, Mick. Right. You know, so his uncle Mick, they were talking about football. He's like, "Are you watching the game when you get home?" And Jack's probably like, "Yeah." So he came home, and of course, we watched the game.
Alicia says, "Honestly, I don't know how Nick just used that many sports words in a row, right?"
Dude, you know what?
That was great. Look at, dude, you are impressing people.
Listen. It's almost like I don't have like my normal blinders on. You know, it's okay. Hold on. This is a perfect segue into our first rant, or not rant. Our first
tangent.
Our first tangent of the day. This
is what we do.
Okay. So hold on to your seats for this one. I had an opportunity to tell the Tom Brady story, and I didn't do it. And so, but hold on. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It was in front of the entire audience at Adam Ray.
In the Boston area, right?
In Boston.
Yeah.
So, and here's the problem. And so in hearing that, you're probably like, for people that don't know, I made fun of Tom Brady to Tom Brady because I didn't know what he looked like at the time when I first moved to New England. So it was pretty good. It was like my first, I don't know, 2 years. It was my first 2 years back up here. And I just like right out of the gate, just kicked the burning trash can over right in the parking lot of Patriots Place.
Of their God.
Oh, yeah. And we had a great laugh about it. We left having a handshake, and he walked off to go get in his helicopter. And I walked off to go at the time get into my Toyota Camry. And we both knew exactly where we were in the world at that moment. And he wasn't concerned about where it was. So anyway, at Adam Ray, he brings up, and he like, has anyone met Tom Brady in the Boston? So he's like, there he is at the Wang, and he's like, has anybody met Tom Brady?
Dude.
And there's a guy right next to me, the guy that's sitting right in front of me. I'm right next to the stage, the stairs to walk up it. The guy that's right next to me got called up on stage to try stand up for the first time. So he's focused on this side of the room at this point, and he's asking, has anybody had like a Tom Brady encounter? Has anybody met him? And he's like panning right by. And in my brain, I'm sitting there like, do you raise your hand and tell the story, or do you not raise your hand and tell the story? And the only reason I didn't, it wasn't because like what you'd think of like revolt of like, you made fun of a god, like you made fun of Tom Brady. No. And what it is, and it's, and that's, yeah, what Joel's saying, that's like your immediate reaction to it, why I probably didn't. It was honestly because people don't believe the story more than they get mad about it.
Makes
right?
sense.
And so what I didn't want is a large group of disbelief to happen at Adam Ray and have to, it's like, if they do believe you, they're mad at you for making fun of Tom Brady and they think you're an ass. If they don't believe you, they're just going to heckle you, right? So like I was like, I had a split moment decision, and I'm like, better not. But yes, no, it was.
I could see both sides. There's a chance it would have went really cool, but there's a chance it could have gone really south.
It could have gone really south, and you don't know. And I don't see much of a middle ground, I guess. Right. And I don't see much of a benefit in the good way that it could have gone. So I was stuck. But look how far I've come, right?
Straight up.
Look at that. From making fun of Tom Brady to Tom Brady because I didn't know what he looked like, to knowing about Drake May and watching him with a big ass win on Sunday and actually being just as blown away by it as pretty much everyone else that was watching.
So to give you an idea of the rivalry, this was at the peak of like many of us watching of football, where you had this unbelievable Patriots team, And then you had the Seahawks. They had this defense called the Legion of Boom, like one of the greatest defenses ever. Richard Sherman, really big personality, crap talker. But and they had Russell Wilson, who's the husband of Sierra, the singer and stuff. And they had the biggest personality in football named Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. He's straight from Cali, super hood, but hilarious. Like, held a football camp and cussed out a mom because she was like, "You're swearing at my kids." And he's like, "Yeah, blah, 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 blah."
And swear at you too.
Yeah, he eats Skittles before every game, and on the sideline, when he was at Cal, he took the team's golf cart, drove it around the field like he was like pimping the car. He shows up to press conferences because they have to by obligation. G Squared said, "You don't have to tell the full story. This would be funny." By obligation, and he just shows up. He's like, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." "Sir, what did you think about this run?" "I'm just here so I don't get fined." And he's just like a massive personality. You would love him. Like, he's actually hilarious. And then, do you know who Sierra is?
No.
Oh, okay. Jill's right. She was a pop like superstar, like singer, dancer,
Not a chance.
and stuff. But essentially, what happened
wife
is,
knows me.
as close as the game gets, the Seahawks are at the goal line at the end of the game with the best running back in football, beast mode, Punisher, bruiser. In the history of the NFL, 99 out of 100 coaches run the ball, win the game. This coach decides at the 1 yard line, he's going to throw a really dangerous pass. And then this guy named Malcolm Butler, who was a nobody, he didn't play after that much. He picks the ball off. They win the game. Patriots get another ring for Tom Brady. Goes down as like the worst call in football history. Now we have the rematch. Yep.
Got it.
It's going to be good. It's going to be real good.
So it was kind of funny too, because as it was winding down, we were getting ready to have dinner. And so like the last 4 minutes, I think it was like 4 minutes left. We're like, all right, well, we see where this is going. I think we're good. And then all of a sudden we were like, wait, what's going on out there? Wait, what's going on?
Even when it was like
we're all peering around the corner.
8-10 minutes left. It's like, oh, this is out of reach. It's over. And then just kept coming back. And so, yeah, it's going to be fun. So shout out to Nick, man. He got that. It's so funny here. Bucks fan. Yeah, for sure.
Dude,
for sure.
G Squared, your beard's looking fierce in that photo too, man. It's
right?
It's looking dead on.
Like a luscious lawn, you could say.
Looking dialed in.
Yeah. And again, guys, next week we are going to be on from Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got almost 50 people in here. Crazy. We're not sure why you guys keep coming back, but we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Today, outside of hitting that thumbs up, we want to discuss beard myths. I just covered one on a video, and if you guys have a beard myth that you have heard, please put it in the chat. What is something you keep repeatedly hear? And I want to kind of talk about where it probably comes from and then why it's wrong. And so the one I addressed was, and I think you would like this perspective, the one I just did a video on is about beard oil being for the skin only and how that just gets regurgitated and regurgitated. And I actually think it comes from a good intention source. I think it comes from beard product companies, especially the big boys back in the day, where when guys were sold a bottle of beard oil, they intrinsically understand beard oil goes in the beard. When we think of beard, we think of hair. They just get that, right? Guys were not applying it to the skin, though, and they're like, I still have beard dandruff. I have an itchy beard. I've got dry beard. And so the companies were like, we got to go hard on the message that it's for the skin, and then they'll just understand to apply it to the hair as well. And because of that, it kind of stuck, and then people repeated it, and it just became this myth that we have to battle. But again, it was from a good intended source as far as that myth.
You know, that's kind of funny too, because it's like, I think most people start off, like you said, I think most people start off where the industry started off. They don't know that beard oil is for anything but your hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
They start, but then again, yeah. And then they hear that message once and then they get the echo chamber because they look it up. And next thing you know, everything they see is about how how beard oil is for your skin and not your hair, because every Google, search you do all of a sudden starts returning stuff about skincare and caring for the skin under your beard. And imagine that. All the ads you see do the same thing.
You're right. You're right. Shout out to Craig. I get to see Craig in Anaheim this weekend. He's going to be one of the beard models for the class.
And why shouldn't he be? Look at that. Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah. It's luscious. It's luscious.
Tell you what, man, I like that look too. I like the single tie with like the with the open top and the bottom with no braid in it. I like doing that.
Yep, he crushes it.
That looks good.
Okay, so let's address some of these. We'll kind of ping pong back and forth. And Mark says he hates the myth when it says it doesn't take effort to make it look good. And I've heard many versions of this, right? I think that's the same piece of the pie of guys that mock using heat, the same piece of the pie that guys are like, you have more than one comb, you don't need anything. And I think it just comes from kind of two places where, one, none of us, and I mean none of us, grew up with dads that taught us beard care.
No.
Many of us had the coming of age ceremony where the dad's like, all right, son, teach you how to shave. And it's like this big thing to teach a man how to shave, which, again, that's fine. I'm not knocking that. But we didn't grow up learning about beard care. We didn't grow up, many of us, my dad didn't teach me how to style my head hair. He didn't teach me about head hair products or shampoo. We would get, part of it is we were kind of not, we were poor growing up, so we'd get like the dollar store shampoo. We'd get the 7-in-1, and that was just all we used, And so we didn't grow up with many of those things. And now as we're learning and the internet and all this stuff is coming about, we start to realize it. You still have guys that are like uncomfortable with that or insecure about it. And so rather than trying it, rather than learning about it, they just deflect and say things like, oh, you don't need to do that to be a man, or that's girly and stuff. I think genuinely it's an insecure deflection.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, just like most things, right? I think when anyone comes back about anything about anybody else, it's typically because they're concerned over themselves more than they are that other person, Right. But I mean, that kind of, you brought up a good point in there. Like, I think there's a myth inside of a myth that you had there, is that you get taught at some point someone teaches you how to shave. I don't know. Personally, I think it's one of those things where I think product marketing makes us believe that there's that moment, right? There's like that where you're like, your dad teaches you how to shave.
Yeah.
I think those things only exist to make you feel bad, because those things don't happen in real life, and it's easier to sell you stuff when you feel guilty. I mean, that's like that to me, you know what I mean?
I understand.
I don't think anybody, I don't think anybody actually gets that. There's a myth inside of a myth there. But no, I think that's definitely, I think there's some interesting ones there. And that goes right into another one, is that when you're young, people tell you as a myth, that's a huge myth too, that in order for your beard to grow in, you need to shave it.
Right.
Shaving's going to make your hair grow in thicker. And if you don't keep it short for a certain period of time, then you're going to have a patchy beard. If you don't have a full 5 o'clock shadow before you grow out your beard, you can't grow a beard. I think all of those kind of tie into one thing, which kind of tees off the back of what you were just talking about there.
Oh, yeah. And the shaving one, I think, is even deeper than that. I think there's two other like key forces that people actually believe shaving helps. One would be a guy enters the military, right? How old on average? 18. He's in the military, let's say, for 5 years. He shaves every single day of his military career. Well, when he entered the military, he just had a mustache and a chin strap and a little peach fuzz.
Mm-hmm.
When he leaves the military, he's now 5 years older.
5 years older.
23. He also has way more testosterone and likely, right, just somewhat healthier, you would hope. Dan, we don't get good. I was in the military, but he has more testosterone. He's older, and he stopped shaving, and then all of a sudden he has this magical beard, and he already has programmed in his head that if you keep shaving, you get a better beard. And he's like, proof, evidence, I stopped. Yep. It was just time. That was it.
That's it. His genetics kicked in, and away you go. Same thing would have happened if he didn't do anything and never touched a razor and never shaved it, grew a beard out and trimmed it. You'd have the same beard.
100%.
Same
100%.
exact beard.
Yep. It'd probably be longer, actually.
Yep.
And the only other one that I think that adds to that myth is hairs are the thickest at the base, at the shaft. And so when you shave it, it makes the surface area look bigger of the hair. And so when it grows out, it actually appears to be thinner. That's
it was this wispy hair, and then I shaved it, and look at this thick root that's coming in. And it's like, whoa,
crazy. Yeah. Exactly. So no, you're right. You're absolutely right. All right. Here's one that I find so interesting. So yeah, that head hair shampoo is good enough for your beard. Kind of the same thing. Lazy, insecure. My favorite thing to point to with that is outside of it being designed for different landscapes and different aspects. This is one of my favorite lawsuits in our industry, and it's Johnson & Johnson. They had this line of products called their OG-X products, and they're getting sued because their shampoo causes hair loss. And you're like, well, okay, interesting, Dan. No. They're getting sued because they knew their shampoo caused hair loss, and they still sold it. And it's proven in company documents, and it's specifically this DMDM. It's a formaldehyde product or an ingredient. And they knew that, hey, if you guys sell this shampoo, the thing that people use that would come back to us to buy more, if we sell this, their hair is going to fall out. They still proceeded to sell it.
Oh, because it was more profitable to sell the product, take the profits than it was to just pay the fine and settle and pay out the lawsuit.
We see it. We don't want to get into too deep of water, but we see it in other industries, right? Where it's like the damage versus the fine.
Oh yeah. You know, it's like there's what was it like? I almost laughed because I was on hold with a medical place that's covered by insurance, and it says like, and remember, prevention is better than a cure. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, wow, like how did you guys even record that with a straight face? Like,
right. Yeah. Right.
It's like you guys are saying that, and that's the same. It's the same people right there. I mean, if you know. Same group of suits at the table that make those decisions. But can you imagine that? Like that product literally made people lose hair. They proved it. They knew it. And they were like, yeah, but if they figure it out and they sue us, like what's our downside on this? Like monetarily speaking. Yeah. And they say like, what's our upside? And like, they literally are okay with people losing hair so long as the profits outweigh the risks. Like that's insanity.
And you can't forget. And so on here, Alicia says Johnson & Johnson's a whole different level and shared her opinion and experiences. We also see Procter & Gamble. This chart will never, ever, ever get old to me right here. Will never get old to me of the companies that own everything in your grocery store.
It's insane. And like what's nuts is you know what is really, really crazy about this? I thought about something the last time you showed this map.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who was a nutritionist, and he said that if you want to be healthy and not think about it, don't shop from anywhere except for the outside walls of your grocery store. Like meaning the make a loop around your grocery store. Anything touching a wall with its back to the wall, only shop there. Nothing in the aisles.
Interesting.
Granted, my friend was very, very paleo and Mediterranean diet based, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you do that, think about these logos and your chances of encountering any of these logos if you shopped on the outside of your grocery, along the outside walls of your grocery store.
Yeah.
You wouldn't encounter them.
Right.
You don't encounter Nestle
Produce.
in the vegetable section.
Produce.
You don't know. You don't get Kellogg's in the meat department, right? You don't get you don't get Unilever, and all. You know what I mean? And so it's like, wow. I thought about that after the last time you showed this, and how the inside rows of your grocery store are basically owned by these, like, by just these brands.
Yeah, it's good logic. Yeah, and so that's Kenny, insane. Just simply search companies that own chart of companies that own everything, something like that.
Companies that own all your food.
Yeah, companies that own all your food. And then you look at like Procter & Gamble, and you're like, wait, Dawn and Tide and Cascade and Downy and Bounce and Gain, those are all they're owned by the same company? Bounty and Swiffer, Febreze, same. Wait, Pepto and what?
It's like, which one do you like, Oral-B or
Crest?
Or Crest?
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, I like Crest. I like Oral-B, and they're like, yes, both of them.
Exactly. Like,
fight about which one's better.
And then look at the grooming space. They own Old Spice and Gillette, who both make beard products. And if you take a look at their beard products, whoa.
You telling me Procter and Gamble's going to have anything but like solid alcohols and silicones in their beard products? That's like going to be primarily their top ingredients.
Yeah.
And water, you're going to have water, a good emulsifier, and then some silicones and some solid alcohol acids.
Jeez. And Craig says grocery stores started remodeling because they figured that out, and they're trying to change the way so it's not just along the walls.
Yeah, it's crazy because like back in the day, that was literally something. If you did that, you would basically immediately be forcing yourself into, kind of a paleo or keto kind of a world, or carnivore sort of diet sort of thing, right? And so literally, if like anyone didn't want to think about it and they thought that it was complicated to eat healthy, it's like rule out anything that's in an aisle in the middle of your grocery stores except for personal products and paper stuff, and then you start there.
Jeez.
And it's like, whoa, all of a sudden you get pretty healthy.
Crazy, like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Here's another big one that I actually do know the origin of this. And it's, Jason says, people who don't know think heat will destroy your beard. And this one's actually pretty simple. Most of what we learn, especially on a surface level about beard care, comes from women and women taking care of their hair. And heat absolutely can be very damaging to head hair, but here's a massive difference and reason why. For the people in our lives that are using heat on the beard, the women attached to them, their wives, girlfriends, fiance, family members, what percentage of those women have color treated hair? 95? Like a massive percent of women that are in the circle of men that are caring for their beards. We gotta make sure we're thinking through that lens. Almost all of them color treat their hair. Almost all. And heat on color treated hair is substantially worse than non-color treated hair. Also, how many women use heat on their head hair and do not use an oil or a heat protectant before they use it, and it just fries their head hair? Where with beards, we don't encourage color. We always demand you use oil or heat protectant before. And so it's just two different worlds to try to compare those.
Yeah, you really can't. You're 100% dead on in it's what you treat around or don't treat. Yep. As far as products go inside. There's far less products in your beard to begin with than, head hair. Look at the amount of products that are in typical. The people that are going to be doing styling that use heat, like you say, probably have other treatments done to it, and then probably use a number of other products on top of just shampoo and conditioner.
You're right.
There's so many other variables.
Craig, kind of the flip side of the shaving one, we all hear this as well, that if you trim your hair, it will grow faster. This is one I don't know the precipice of. We know addition by subtraction, where people, you notice the growth more when it's shorter. You can seem like it's thicker and fuller. But where do you think this one comes from?
Plants. I think it comes from botany. I think it comes from botany.
Pruning?
And I think it comes from pruning. And I think it comes from the idea that when you trim something, it needs to grow back and fill in that area. And if you have sparse spots and level it all out, then it's all going to grow back in together like a bonsai or a Japanese maple grows, And I think people get that in their heads, and it works its way into other areas of their thoughts without them really realizing it, maybe. I think that's, and then of course it turns into one of those things where someone says it kind of resonates with someone else and makes sense, right? Because you're kind of like, oh, right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. If someone tells it to you and you're like, think about it. Think about a bonsai. You got to shape it and it grows back in, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I could buy that. And then boom, there you go. It's born.
You're right. That's that's going to be a video in the future, because you're right. That is where it comes from, where if we trim this plant, it grows better. You have to. It dies if you don't.
Right.
And then when people think about beard hair or hair in general, they start to think about things like dead ends. And they're like, you got to trim it because that kills the hair. And obviously that's a loaded statement. But yeah, you're right. 100%. Even though all those people talking, if you were to ask them, where does hair grow from? They would tell you the base. They would tell you from the skin, I would hope.
Right. And if you asked them to logically think about it and you said, hey, do you think the base of your hair can communicate with the tip of your hair? I bet you most people would say, they'd think about it and they'd say no.
Right.
But then, because it's logically, the answer is no.
Right.
But if you brought up a myth that involved the concept of the root of your hair communicating with the tip of your hair, they'd believe it.
They'd flip it. Yeah. Because it's convenient.
Because you're not really you're not being pragmatic about that part of the story at that point. You're trying to think about it as a whole, and you're kind of like mentally letting some things slide, maybe.
100%. 100%. You know? And G Squared said, I know the answer to this, but I think it's worth saying over and over again. I think one myth I always heard before finding your channels: don't wash your beard, or at least don't wash them often. And yeah, I think that one does come from the time where the education on beards was made, before we had daily gentle beard washes like Dr. Nick's that uses aloe, that has the right pH, that has the right ingredients. And so back then you had to choose between a dirtier beard but healthy, or a cleaner beard but killing it. And so it was like, and now we don't have to worry about that.
No, you don't. And, you know, I was just thinking about this the other day when I had to come in and shower or something after I was snow blowing. And it's funny because if I decide to get back in the shower for the second time in a day, I do full routine every time I'm in the shower. I am like way too much of a person of habit. And I know some people out here can relate, is that if I do something a certain way, chances are I'm going to do it that way every time. And when I get in the shower, I do beard wash, beard conditioner, and I get out of the shower. And so without thinking about it, I will do that on a second shower in a day. And then afterwards, partway through, I'm like, oh man, I'm washing my beard multiple times in a day. It's not really a good thing, I guess. Right. And then I'm like, well, wait, it's a perfect pH. It's balanced. I could wash it 10 times a day with this if I felt like it. I'm not going to do anything bad. It's like I could kind of just sit there in that pH because it's natural to my face and my hair. It's like probably dry you out, probably cause some dandruff, probably cause some flakes. Your skin probably wouldn't like it, but ultimately, you know, it shows how much of a balanced wash it is, though, because I didn't have any issues. And I realized I do that whenever I shower multiple times. I don't like the way my skin feels dried out with just water being dried on it. Like, I'm used to the feeling of it going through a wash and then having a little conditioner left over and having the whole, like, it's a certain skin to hair kind of feel of like the dryness and everything else. Like it's a certain way when you do that. And I just don't like it when it's off.
And that's where personal variables come in, right? You have your preference, you have what you can handle, your water table matters, all of that.
Matters a ton.
Yeah.
If I was in Florida, I couldn't do that because the water down there destroys my beard. Yeah. Tap water in Florida kills my beard. And if I shower more than once a day, no matter what I do, I have super dry beard and big problems and red spots. And that's just from the water.
Yep. And Leo's right, too. He says, I think another source of washing infrequently is that women wash their hair infrequently, although their longer hair took longer time to wash and style. Leo, you're right. I mean, still to this day, Sam doesn't wash her hair daily. Most women don't wash their hair daily.
Yeah, Jill doesn't.
It's not a beard. It's different. It's not surrounding their nose. It's not surrounding their mouth. We drool. We spit. We have stuff here that should be washed away.
We eat food.
Right.
We eat. Yeah. Yep.
Not here.
Nope.
Here.
Yep. That's it. It's prime territory. In case people were unaware, there's actually a spot directly between your mustache and your beard where you consume organic food, matter. Right.
Right.
And
just because someone calls you a butthead, you're still eating food from there. All right. So just keep that in mind. I love this, by the way. This is really fun.
This is a good one. And because I feel like everyone's heard these and everyone's like has at least had one that they hear because someone's like, you're growing out your beard. Oh man, don't you know? Blah 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 blah.
Right. Everyone. It's like they just feel the right to throw these things at you because it's the only thing they know about beards.
Which again, we talk about like the people's ability to feel comfortable talking about the what is attached to someone else's face just blows my mind. Like they would never be that comfortable being like, "Oh, you're growing your hair out." You know what they say about people with long hair? Then it's like, "Oh man, cool, you getting your fingernails painted purple, huh?" You know what they say about people with purple fingernails?
Right. It doesn't happen.
No. But get into a beard, boom, everyone's got an opinion.
100%. They just feel the right to talk about it. Yeah. Now, Leo says, hey, Black Panther. Leo says, I figured that out when I asked the girl out and she would say she couldn't because she had to wash her hair that day. Convenient, man. Linda, convenience.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Oh. Yeah, there might have been more to that story, you know?
True story. This is real quick. I won't say any names, but we were at a barber expo. It was not the guys I was with. This was a peripheral person. So don't get any ideas out there. A peripheral person went on a date while we were in San Antonio, and he brought the girl to like the hotel lobby. And like, this was like a first date, an online dating thing. And it's me, this guy named Ryder Grooms, this barber, and then Joe, the owner of Beard Octane, and we're all like decently big dudes, like not Fleck, but like we're decently big humans. He brings this girl in, this other guy, he was a videographer, brings this girl in. That's like their first date. She sits down at the table with these like burly bearded dudes. By the end, we're like, how'd it go? True story. He showed me the message. She said she had to leave because she had to go feed her cat.
Ooh, if that's not my friend won't call me and get me out of this, so I'm blaming it on my cat. I don't know.
Feed my cat?
I mean, that's like
like what?
I gotta go give my brother a ride somewhere. Like I gotta, like there's a lot of I gotta go water my plant.
That was bad, and it happened in real life. Like crazy. So
I mean, that was a bad idea, though. So I mean, like that could be a little.
We were sitting, and he brought her up and introduced her. We're like, "What are you doing?
Well,
don't sit her down with three big old scary looking dudes. What are you doing?"
Especially after the video thumbnail you just showed me. I mean, we're well known to be polarizing and hard and unapproachable.
True. So, you guys didn't see that? Sam and I are on a video that has over 2 million views now.
yeah, and it uses Dan as an example of being polarizing.
I will say, long beards are polarizing.
There are
women that absolutely love it, and there are women that are disgusted by it. So I don't think that was unfair.
I would argue that I use mine in not a polarizing capacity, but that I use the polarization of that beard for profiling purposes. And I actually very much like the polarization that it causes.
It's useful sometimes
when
you don't want to be talked to. Yep.
Or no, I mean, for profiling reasons, be like, oh, so this is off-putting to you? Then I have zero interest in letting you know how off-putting I really am. Gotcha. If that's
gotcha.
If this is what you consider something that like the woman at the bar months and months back who said like, I'm 70 years old, I don't want to be sitting next to that, and got all offended about my beard. Like, I'm really glad that I didn't accidentally get into a further conversation with that woman, because look at the time I saved.
That's fair. Now, people, please, I don't ever ask for sympathy, but please, for a moment, sympathize with me. Papa Mac, you are talking about the burden of my entire career. He says the one myth that he hears from people is that beard products don't do anything for them. Holy crap. Think about the amount of just American men beards. We'll just leave it at that sliver. Think about how many of them care for their beard properly. At this point, this day, it's a tiny sliver, which is unbelievably great for beard product companies, because any amount of that needle moving is unbelievable, and the amount that we can grow is just unfathomable. Like, our kids growing up, totally different world with beard education, but I digress there. I hear this every single day that beard oil doesn't work for somebody. And how do you stay positive and have a great conversation without saying one of two things happened? You used crap or you didn't do it properly. Because if you've never used beard oil before and you have a beard, if you use quality beard oil and you use it properly, the right amount, the right routine, damp beard, all that, you're going to feel a difference. There's no one that can say it didn't do anything for them. You're going to feel a difference, period. And this is what I have to deal with where user or companies, guys, same thing. When companies, I'm probably speaking Nick's brain off right now, where people write reviews and they're like, this was garbage, didn't help. And then they send in a picture and it's like the bottle was half gone and they ordered it 2 days ago. And it's like, yeah. You don't put half a bottle on your beard. Of course it feels greasy to you. Of course it's too thick to you. Like the user error is a plight on my life.
Oh, it's brutal. And yeah, you get someone that sends in a review of a half gone bottle. Like, of course it tasted bad. Jeez, you're not supposed to drink it. Come on.
Beard growth I didn't get any beard growth. Yeah, you drank it.
I know we say that healthy hair starts from within, but it's not where we're intending you to topically apply beard oil. That's not it. But so to your point about the percentage, okay, owning a brand and encountering a lot of people and having it be their first time interacting with your brand.
Yep.
We have a lot of people who work on our building, right? We have a commercial building that we operate out of. It has people that come in for deliveries, people that come in for maintenance, people that are working out front on utilities. And we are a friendly group here, right? So we have stuff that's, that we give away for people when they're working here, all sorts of things. Do you know that out of since 2020, we've been here. So, it's going on 6 years later this year. It's going to be, I've never given away a product to somebody that's worked on this building and had them not tell me it was the first beard product they've ever received or used. I'm not kidding. Delivery drivers, people that come in to work on plumbing. Hey man, sweet beard. He's like, yeah, what do you guys do here? And we tell him. And I say, you ever used, what kind of beard oil do you use? And he's like, never used it, or whatever it turns into. Like, we give people butter. It's the first butter they've ever used. So I mean, like and these guys don't have like little, if I'm giving someone a tub of butter, chances are they have a sizable beard.
Right.
And I've yet to give away a tub of butter and had someone tell me that they've never used beard butter. And most of them say they've never used beard oil.
It's beyond true. Like,
it's bizarre.
Unbelievably beyond true. I'm not going to show the message, but I had a message this morning about a person asking me about a wrong method of beard care. And they said, I get that, but why would someone say it? And I said, because they said, quote unquote, so-and-so said do this. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, they're wrong. And they're like, why would they say it? And they're misinformed. Like,
the same reason people say anything that's wrong.
Right. Like, I don't really know how to answer that question. And then when you see something like, why is my mouse ain't coming up? When you see something like Phil's comment here, he said, someone asked on Reddit for advice. So many people in the comments said oil isn't necessary. It is wild, the arena of beard advice and what it looks like too, right? If you go to a YouTube video of mine or a live stream, you're going to get some very educated answers. Instagram, Facebook, you're going to get a mix. You're going to have some educated, you're going to have some not. Reddit, oh my dumpster fire of any information, of anything. Oh my gosh, you have to separate your brain to occupy Reddit. So
bad, but it is like literally the definition of echo chamber.
It's crazy. And Nate says, Nick, I'm not even joking when I say this, but we've had multiple people email and say they can taste our product. I have no good response except don't use as much. It's getting in the mouth.
Yeah, and that's where I don't understand where people feel okay asking certain questions. And I guess I'll just say, you're not
embarrassed?
No, it's like this really doesn't really. This is where you want to be. This is like where you want to win it all. Okay, so what happens to me is like, that would be like me sending in something to Chrysler saying, you know, I like my wife's Jeep a lot, but when I put it in drive and get out and stand next to it and it runs over my foot, it's really heavy. They'd be like, well, don't run over your foot with the Jeep. That's going to be first thing to do there. So like when someone sends this to you saying that like they can taste it, that's like like you got it in your mouth. That's okay. Like, you know, mistakes happen. I get it. You're bad, not our problem, but I'm happy to reply.
Don't do that.
I'd be like, I really like your beard oil, but it stings my eyes really bad. Be like, ooh, well, there's your problem. You got it in your eyes. Like that right there is gonna be your problem. Oh, yeah. Every time I do this thing, my arm hurts. Okay, don't do that thing. Right. Or like, hey, Mr. Mechanic, my car makes this weird noise. Cool. Turn up your radio. You know, like same concept, but oh man. Yeah.
So true.
Smells so good. They had to see what it tasted like, you know. Hey, we've all been there.
Chris, you're right. Another one, beards are dirty. And I
was
bet
saving
there's
the
a
best
bunch
for last.
of different sources. I can tell you one, and I want you to think about the logical side of one. And I can tell us about the detailed side. So one of them is there have been a couple absolutely atrocious studies that have been done on this. The most famous one was out of Sweden. I believe the sample size was 17 people, beards.
Ouch.
Yep, 17.
And they were at the same schnitzel eating contest.
And where did they find them? Where, like, they're like, I know you didn't find them in this live stream. If we pull 17 beards out of this live stream, and essentially that study was they did a swab of dogs and a swab of beards, and they found more bacteria on average in those beards than they did these dogs. Well, there were some factors, right? The dogs only went outside in their own yard. They were inside. These beards didn't care for their beards. And this is true. They were found at a bar.
That's
there
what
was another one
I was gonna say
that was famous, and they said, and this was in America, and they said that beards are dirtier than toilets. Well, that study was done by a radio station. By a radio station. That was the source of that huge myth and rumor about people referencing a study. It was
so out of Scooter and Hooch in the morning show, which one was the one that ran the swab study?
That's freakishly close. It was a Sirius XM radio station that did it too. And it's just like, come on. But let's set that aside. I do think that there's something deeper or logical to this. Any other thoughts of why people intrinsically think beards are dirty?
Sorry, what? So I was reading about Dignation is the podcast. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
no,
Any reason why? I mean, other than like people associate it with homelessness, where stuff, right? And
no, it's because of what we talked about. It's because this is why I wanted to save this one for last and save the black letter. It's literally the culmination of everything we just talked about.
Yeah,
it's because we eat with our faces. We drink, right? We talk, and everyone knows that like when people talk, like they have spit that comes out of their mouth. You have people blow their nose and then they think like, oh God, you know what I mean? So, and then I think all of those things together, they're like, there's no possible way that it's clean. But here's the big distinction, I think. First of all, food residue is not the same as the residue you would find in a public restroom.
Right.
We are speaking of very, very different residues here. Like at worst, the worst thing that could be like a day ender ruiner for me. And this is not as bad as anything else you would swab out of a public area would be like some egg yolk, right? And that's like a day ruining situation for me. I'm back in the shower, or at least like a close to shower situation. So you got to think, like, if egg yolk is the worst thing imaginable that you're going to get on a beard, I can think of far worse things that happen in train stations, bus stops, the handlebars of other areas. And you know what? Jill and I were just watching My Strange Addiction, and she's about to cover her mouth right now and go, he isn't. And I'm not. Don't worry. But there are worse things that people do out in public than anything that can come out in contact with.
Don't even tell me after the show. I don't want to know. Don't.
So It's there's just no it comes from the idea though that there's food and that's all it is. And I think people get it in their heads that we must just kind of smear things into our face when we eat or something, and then beards are intrinsically covered in food all the time. That's the only, because there's nothing else that they come in contact with.
Right, but food covers their face. Like it's the same concept of, doesn't your beard get hot in the summer? Doesn't your head hair? What are you talking about?
Right. And if you think about that one actually does really get me. It's kind of funny. Like, isn't your beard hot in the summer? Well, people with long hair, their hair is on their back, like, and on the back of their neck. So they're walking around. They're like trapping heat. It's like wearing this hoodie, like out in the, like, that's vastly different than something that's on the front of you that's already shaded typically because it's being covered by your hat and your shoulders, you know?
Right. And when it's here, the sweat and everything runs down. It actually acts as like an air conditioning unit because breeze passes through it, cold. Like it's the same kind of concept. It's like they disregard the other aspects of life. It's like, yeah, you eat too, but you wash your face. We wash our beards. Like you're just wrong. Like it's just so silly.
Well, then they're like, okay, so here's a good one. Here, this is great. I love it. This is one of those ones that turns into a longer episode real quick. We just talked about something else that disproves it. So they say environmentally, your beard picks things up in the air and carries them.
Right.
So that's why your beard is dirty.
Right. Just this.
Just this. But wait a minute. So head hair, again, let's go back to head hair, right? Now, we just said that people don't wash their head hair every day.
Correct.
We do wash our beard every day.
Correct.
And I don't have any head hair.
Correct.
So come on. Like this is an interesting one because they're like, how come, so is it a selective environmental absorption process that happens where for some reason only the hair that comes out of your face is absorbing things in the air?
Duh.
Obviously. Oh, so beards are HEPA rated, so they filter more things out of the air. There you go. And there's more. So if there is a finer filter, it's actually head hairs.
Right.
So especially if you have curly head hair, so that means people with curly head hair should really be, like public enemy number one for these people that have concerns over the germs that your beard carry.
And if I got to stand in line,
right?
Your head hair's going behind you. I'm this close to that nasty. Oh, you nasty.
Oh,
right? Come on.
Oh,
lines.
Oh boy.
Good. You ever have a woman flip her hair and it hits you? Ah.
Not in the queue. Oh,
like
right there.
They're so silly. And there's got to be some kind of saying or phrase for how long it takes to dispel these like stigmas and stuff. Like, how many generations are we away? Is it one? Is it one where these kind of go out of psyche? Because I'm sure there was some wild, right? We could think of like myths about like witches and stuff that like now we like laugh about. Like, how long will it be where we laugh about this stuff? It's got to take a while.
I mean, I bet you, Vikings were saying the same thing. They're like, when's everyone going to leave us alone about the beards?
Yeah, even though they were adamant on their self-hygiene. Dreadlocks, right. You have head hairstyles that don't wash, period.
Yeah. No.
Crazy.
But here we are.
Yep. And this is it. Nate kind of rounds it out to wrap up in the last minute. Clean people will clean their beards. Yeah. Dirty people will not.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. If you nasty, you nasty.
Let's just generalize this even further to bring us all the way home. Clean people will be clean. Dirty people won't. And it doesn't matter if it's your beard, your hands, your head hair, your face,
your butt crack.
It doesn't matter. Gross people are going to be gross. And I promise you that there's no part of them that's grosser than any other part because they are all around just not clean people. But I bet you the 90%, 98% of the people that we deal with here are here because they care about grooming. They care about good grooming products. They care about taking care of themselves, being healthy, looking good, smelling good. those are all things that, unfortunately, the things that we think about and obsess about, these are things that don't even cross other people's minds.
Correct.
So chances are, if you know, and if you're here, well, So it's like that's I think that sums it up right there.
And I try to have that lesson in so many arenas of life. When I have somebody that comes at me with like negative nastiness, I'm like, oh, they're the same person that's nasty to their waiter when it's out of their control. They're the same person that emails Dr. Nix, what the heck's up with my delayed package? Oh, I don't know, extreme weather in the entire country for 2 weeks. Maybe that as part of it. When someone acts like that, they act like that in every single lane that they go into. And same thing. If someone's dirty, I bet you their house is dirty as well. You know, like there's so many different things. And yeah, I agree, Nick. That was the perfect ribbon to put on top, put a little bow on there. Very, very well said. Very, very well said. So
just leave that right there.
Yep. Pew. Next week, guys, just a reminder, Wednesday at 2 p.m. So different day and time. The cool thing about that is it might allow people that can't normally make Tuesdays at 1 to be able to experience the show. And even if they can't make it in the future on the Tuesdays, they can at least know they enjoy this and then they listen to the replay. I know a lot of people look forward to this like a podcast and they listen to it on their drive home or they listen to it the next morning when they get ready. I've had many of those comments, like Craig, I think he had to run, but he said he's bummed that he can't make this every week, but he put all caps, loves this show. That means a lot to us, you guys. So leave a comment if you watch the replay or listen podcast style, and I'll see you guys next week. And I'm assuming I'm going to have some really good stories from the Barber Expo. Nick?
Oh, I cannot wait for Barber Expo. I can't wait for like if there's a Florida man experience at the Barber Expo, because there's usually the Florida man of the expo, or at least something like that happens. Oh, it's always something good. And yeah, so next week, easy to remember because it's 1 day later and 1 hour later. So
There
1 day, 1 and 1.
You're sharp today, Nick. That brain's braining.
I tell you what, it's nothing but self-defense mode is what it's doing right now. It's got its quills up.
Awesome.
All right,
guys. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week, and in